Hello everybody, back here again for another vlog a day, and today is Thursday the 25th, and today was a rather interesting day weather-wise. It rained like hell all night long. I heard we got between 3 and 4 inches, and I also heard on the news, I guess apparently, our area got upwards of 9 inches. So I don't know who to believe there. The person with the little rain gauge out on their fence that may or may not of checked it and dumped it and didn't remember what he had, or if I should listen to the news and go with the 9 inches. Either way, I know it's a crazy amount of rain. It was absolutely ridiculous how much rain we had. I would say probably more than we've had in a short period like that ever that I've been out running the area, because it was crazy wet everywhere. I ran around the reservoir, and there's two different reservoirs we have with the stationary dams, like the overflow spillways, and they both had more water flowing over them than I've ever seen in my life out there. And it's crazy how much more was going over there than normal. So I'm going to guess it's probably closer to 9 inches than the 3 inches, because I've been out there many mornings after 3 inches of rain, and this was insanely more than that. So woke up this morning, had a few things left to get taken care of before I headed over to have surgery. Wasn't able to eat or drink anything past midnight, blah blah whatever. I really kind of blew that out of the water a little bit, because I don't know, I think it's a whole bunch of bullshit. Because if you have surgery scheduled for 6 a.m., they tell you midnight. If you have surgery scheduled for 2:30 p.m., they tell you midnight. So clearly there's something wrong in those scenarios. So my theory is, give me 6 hours of lead time and I'll be fine. So the biggest reason they don't want you to eat or drink anything is because you could get sick. You could throw up, end up with food and stuff in your lungs, or just literally drown yourself, which would be a big problem, or make a giant mess in the OR, and they don't want to deal with that either. But at the same time, if I just left a giant smorgasbord buffet restaurant, got in a car wreck or something like that, or got hit by a truck, they would do operations on me, literally with a giant belly full of food, and that would be a fine thing too. So I got up, ended up drinking some water. I went to bed with a full liter of water as I headed to bed, and it was probably, I'd say, maybe a quarter or a third gone when I woke up. So I went ahead and finished. I drank probably another, I don't know, half a liter of water then, and then said to hell with it. Had a couple of things quick to get done. Took off for my run. Ended up running just a nice, slow, easy pace. Really enjoyed myself, knowing it was going to be my last run for, God damn, it just kills me to say this. I know minimum 4 days, 5 days, 3 days, something like that. But I'm going to try and take off the full 2 weeks. And as bad as I feel, it might be 2 years. Who the hell knows? So went ahead, got back, got cleaned up, had to go run the store, fill the car up. I went ahead and hosed off my car. I've been sitting underneath a tree for a while because I've been driving my van the last couple weeks, back and forth down to Kansas City, visiting. Well, that part don't matter, I guess. But also going back down to help my cousin move to her new house. So I went ahead and basically the car hasn't moved in, I'd say, probably 11 days, something like that. And just sitting in the tree sap and the leaves and the bark and just the junk on it. And I figured I better at least clean off the windshield, kind of clean out the inside a little bit, give it a quick vacuum. Got all that taken care of, had to run the store, return some cottage cheese I bought, that whoever opened the box had cut the lid and the safety seal both. Lid I didn't care about. I had extra lids I could have used. Opened up the thing and realized it cut the safety seal, and it had a little bit of a weird smell. Might have been in my brain, might have just been something I thought was happening, but I wasn't willing to risk it. Was going to get food poisoning or nothing when I got it the other day. So I went ahead and returned it. They just swapped it out, new one, no big deal. Everything went great there. From there, headed back home, finished getting ready to go, and then waited around. Took off, went and picked up a buddy slash friend slash acquaintance, a guy I know, quite a bit older than I am. I've known him for off and on for a while. I don't know him that great. I guess it's a stranger that I have an association with, probably more than anything. Just done some woodworking and do some favors for each other off and on, different things like that. And he was super kind and was willing to ride over with me to the hospital, hang out there for what turned out to be, about 4.5 hours, something like that. So went ahead and he was there for me there, drove me back home. So you figure it's about 6.5 hours of his day he lost with me today, which was, I mean, I was super glad that he was willing to do that. I had somebody who basically volunteered and came up with the idea they wanted to help me, and then I guess not necessarily last minute, but out of nowhere, kind of basically decided it was going to be way too much of a pain in their ass to do because my surgery was pushed back into the 2:30 p.m. instead of like the 6 or 7 or 8 a.m. thing, and they decided to say to hell with it and didn't come do it, which wasn't that big a deal. Had a couple other people I was trying to get to come do it. I had somebody I could have called and asked them for help. They'd offered early on, and I'd already had the other person come out of requesting to be there for me and wanted to help me out, wanted to do that favor for me. And so I told the first person, no, I'm good, I got it covered. And I felt like a loser for having to go back and basically at that point ask them to do something they'd volunteered for because the other person had bailed on me. So I had another couple people that I was trying to get to make a commitment to meet me here and run me over there and back, and just didn't seem to work out right. And there's different things. I had one of them that was going to show up, but it'd be 45 minutes late when they got here to take me. Wasn't going to do me any good. Thought of a couple other ways that would have worked out, but just had to heck with it. Had a really nice chat and conversation with the guy over there. Drove over and stuff. Got into surgery, went and got the IVs, all the good stuff. They wanted to know how much I ran, how dehydrated I was, so on and so forth. Went back, chatted with the nurses, the doctors, anesthesiologists, all that stuff. Went really well. Super nice staff over there, really nice people. Got into surgery, a little chilly. You get there, so they throw some warm blankets on you. They put this weird, like, plastic, I guess, like, balloon vest on me, and they pumped warm air up in through it, and they had enough, and it, basically drugs in me, whatever, that I don't even remember that getting turned on fully, and I was gonzo. Like, I go out super easy when it comes to being put under for, like, dental surgeries and that kind of stuff. I go out fast, so I was just gone, and everything went great. Woke up partway, actually I woke up, wasn't quite finished, I started to come out of it. They'd apparently cut the dosage back a little bit on me, and for whatever reason, I guess I started trying to kick my feet around, started trying to get up off the table, and they hollered at me and told me to hold still. He wasn't done, so apparently he was still working on me. Hopefully I wasn't too much inconvenience for the guy when I started moving around, and I didn't feel any pain or nothing from that, so I was just more of, I got freaked out and I had like 3 people yelling at me to stop moving. So I stopped moving, laid there, talked to them a couple minutes and stuff, and the next thing I know, they must have upped the dosage a little bit and I was gone again. So next thing I know, I wake up, I was finished in there. They went ahead and got me from that bed into a wheelchair, which did not go very well. Thought I was much more confident than what I really was when I got stood up, got in the wheelchair. Wheeled me to the little recovery room thing, got into the other chair, and that went a little bit better. Wasn't going great. From there, finally got up. They gave me some food and stuff, whatnot. I was able to keep my food down without a problem. Actually had some pretty decent soup, some applesauce, and some Jell-O pudding, a little bit of juice, and a little bit of milk, and that stuff went down super easy. I was definitely hungry. Got my instructions on what to do, what to not do, which I'd already heard them before, which was just like a refresher course, which is always good because I'd heard it when I was still not under anesthesia, and now it's still coming out. It was a little bit loopy. Not too bad. They put some weird slipper type sock things, boots on me, whatever. My feet were all gauzed up. He saw the left one's bleeding like hell, so he went ahead and opened it back up and re-gauzed a little more gauze in there and stuff, and it still bled like hell on the way home, but went out. Met my driver. He took me out to the pharmacy to fill my pain pill prescription, and of course they forgot to date it. Had to run back to the hospital to get it dated. Thank God. I went to the pharmacy right there in town, so driving all the way home to find it out, and I would have not had pain pills tonight, which would have been miserable. Went ahead, and the place closed. Like, it was closing like 21 minutes from when we left it the first time. Got back to the hospital, got it dated, got it back to the pharmacy, and literally they just closed the light off when we walked in. They let him go in, got the prescription. I took one of the pain pills, headed home. I was in the back seat with my feet up, elevated on the seat, sitting sideways, which is a really odd way to ride in a car. We chatted, drove home. He drove great. Really not bad at all. He wasn't hard on brakes or hard on the gas and kind of stuff, so it worked out really well. And I thanked him profusely. We got out of the car. I walked up to the house here. He basically dropped me off and headed back to his place, so that was all good. Worked out really, really well for me there. Made it in the house on my own. It was not great, but it wasn't miserable, I guess is the best way of putting it. Went ahead, was trying to get my dog to go outside because I didn't want him stepping on me, so he's always super hyper when I get there to see him. So I kind of scolded him a little bit too much. I kind of raised my voice to make sure I meant business. Get the hell out of here. Let him smell my feet real quick for a minute. Kicked him outside. He was out there for a little bit. I got kind of let him settle down a little bit. Brought him back in. I had my mother was here helping me out a little bit, which was nice. She brought him back in. He had to come over. I petted him some. He had to smell my feet because the bandages, and it was something different. And seemed like once he smelled those and he kind of saw where I was at, I brought him up on the couch with me right there. I petted him. I basically hugged him and told him he had to be nice to me. He had to give me some space. And he went and laid down in his own love seat, which he has his own little couch love seat thing there, and chilled out. And the pain pills and the mostly anesthesia and the Novocaine type stuff they stuck in my toes fully wore off, and I started getting miserable. Threw some ice packs on it, whatnot, whatever, and just been kind of fighting it. It wasn't horrible. Got up and walked a little bit, and it's insane. And my toenails, feels like if you've ever been a runner and you lose a toenail or it's jammed up and you got to drill a hole in it to relieve pressure. Feels like that times 100. It's way worse because all 10 are done, and it's just insane how bad it hurts. I ate some junk food. Been sitting up here. It's now, I don't know, probably 2:30. It looks it's 2:30 a.m. Every time I try and lay down and get some sleep, I move a little bit as I'm falling asleep. I kind of toss and turn a little here and there, and my feet hit the sheet and my toes hurt like a son of a bitch, and I'm back up and wide awake. So I've chosen to just stay up until I am exhausted, and hopefully I'll be more likely to pass out and not really toss and turn as much as my goal. I've been having a really hard time with not letting my dog up on the bed because he usually sleeps with me at least a few hours at start, and then he'll go away, and then he'll come back and jump in bed again. So I've had to explain to him a couple times he's not allowed up here. He's giving me these super sad puppy dog eyes, and that's so hard for me to stick with, not letting him up in here. But I just can't have him up there. He's bumped my foot a couple times, and just like it's insanely painful. And if he jumps on the bed, he's going to lay down on my feet like he always does, and I want to kill him, and that's not something I can do. He'll know no better, so I just have to keep him off my bed, which is the main thing. It's really funny. I've got a little, I don't know if you can see it really there. You can see it a little bit. The thermometer they stuck on my head, so when I was in surgery to check my temperature, and I realized I can't find my digital thermometer, and one of the side effects of the infection is a fever, and they said if I get like in the 101 range to immediately get a hold of them or head out like the ER kind of thing. And being said I can't find my thermometer until I get one bought tomorrow, I'm going to leave this little thing on my forehead so I can check it quickly in the mirror, or even just take a picture of my own forehead and look at the picture, which is working out good for me. So I got a feeling I'm going to be catching up on a lot of Netflix and some YouTube and who the hell knows what all there. And I've got I literally own, I bet, 3,000, maybe 4,000 DVDs. So I'll probably be watching some of those and going from there. But other than that, it was just, I don't know, it's one of those things where I realized the fact today that how a guy that's almost, lack of a better term, is a strange associate I know. He's not what I would consider a great friend. Probably wouldn't invite him to a intimate birthday party. If I had a housewarming type party or just a barbecue grill out, I'd invite him and his wife over. But he's not what I call a close friend, and he was a dude who was there for me. So it was really kind of a eye-opening experience to see who's there for you when you really need them and that. And it worked out well. I mean, I had a good time. Really going through some other shit in my life right now that I'm not quite ready to talk about. The whole emotional ties and all that kind of stuff, what's happening, and the whole fact of people not believing that you know what you want, what you need, and they're telling you what they think they want, what they think you want, and what they think you need, and they're completely wrong. But you can't convince people of that stuff. So I'm just trying to, I guess, figure it out. And it was also amazing how few people who are actually in my life, really in my life, checked on me and saw how I was doing to actually give a shit, and how much I had from just like Twitter people and stuff like that, people I know through social media that I'll probably never meet in my life, were overly concerned and were checking up on me quite often in the whole process. So I don't know, it's one of those things where you just kind of learn, I guess, where your life is at and who really gives a fuck, I guess, is the big thing. So that's all I got for now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day, and here's to hoping my feet don't hurt this bad tomorrow.